Hello, readers. It's Mrs. Webb here, and we're going to enjoy Chapter 7 of My Father's Dragon together. Before we do that, though, I'm going to talk to you about a really important strategy that readers use, and this was a strategy I used before jumping into Chapter 7. So something that I was wondering about as I was finishing up Chapter 6 was I was trying to remember what were all those things that Elmer put in his knapsack. And so I went back to Chapter 2 to reread just that little part in Chapter 2 of the things that Elmer put in his knapsack to kind of help refresh my memory and to help me think about, what else might he use on his voyage? Also, a knapsack, I brought a picture of a knapsack because a knapsack isn't really a word that we use. Today, it's kind of like, knapsack's kind of like an older style of a backpack. So I was kind of picturing Elmer's knapsack kind of looking like this. So I put that up there for you. And if you want to join me in Chapter 2, I'm just going to read at the very bottom of page 18 to help me remember those things that Elmer put in his knapsack. He took chewing gum, 2 dozen pink lollipops, a package of rubber bands, black rubber boots, a compass, a toothbrush, and a tube of toothpaste, 6 magnifying glasses, a very sharp jackknife, a comb and a hairbrush, 7 hair ribbons of different colors, an empty grain bag with a label saying cranberry, some clean clothes, and enough food to last my father while he was on the ship. So after I reread that, I took some quick notes, which is what readers can also do to help you keep track of your thinking. So I listed out all those things that Elmer put in his knapsack. And I just kind of checked off the things that he's already used. So we know he already used that empty grain bag, right, with the label saying cranberry, because that's what got him on the ship to the islands. Of course, he had enough food while he was on the ship in his knapsack. And then we know that he also is using those black rubber boots, right, to help him travel across the different islands. And then he, if you remember back with the tigers, right, he used a compass to help him find his way because the jungle was getting really thick. He was having a hard time seeing. So he used a compass to help him find his way and to help him know what direction he was heading. He also gave the tigers chewing gum, right, to distract him, or to distract the tigers so he could keep going. And then when we got to Chapter 6, there was the toothbrush and a tube of toothpaste that he gave the rhinoceros to help shine up his tusk. And then that's all we're at for right now. So we're going to keep reading to find out what else is Elmer going to use next. So let's take a look. I'm going to leave my list up here of those notes that I took for myself. And that's something you can try at home too. So let's go back now to Chapter 7. My father meets a lion. My father waved goodbye to the rhinoceros, who was much too busy to notice, got a drink farther down the brook, and waded back to the trail. He hadn't gone very far when he heard an angry animal roaring. Ding blast it! I told you not to go blackberrying yesterday. Won't you ever learn? What will your mother say? My father crept along and peered into a small clearing just ahead. A lion was prancing and clawing at his mane, which was all snarled and full of blackberry twigs. The more he clawed, the worse it became. And the madder he grew, and the more he yelled at himself because it was himself he was yelling at all the time. My father could see that the trail went through the clearing, so he decided to crawl around the edge in the underbrush and not disturb the lion. He crawled, and the yelling grew louder and louder. Just as he was about to reach the trail on the other side, the yelling suddenly stopped. My father looked around and saw the lion glaring at him. The lion charged and skidded to a stop a few inches away. Who are you? The lion yelled at my father. My name is Elmer Elevator. Where do you think you're going? I'm going home, said my father. That's what you think, said the lion. Ordinarily, I'd save you for afternoon tea, but I happen to be upset enough and hungry enough to eat you right now. And he picked up my father in his front paws to feel how fat he was. My father said, Oh, please, lion, before you eat me, tell me why you are so particularly upset today. It's my mane, said the lion as he was figuring how many bites a little boy would make. You see what a dreadful mess it is? And I don't seem to be able to do anything about it. My mother is coming over on the dragon this afternoon, and if she sees me this way, I'm afraid she'll stop my allowance. She can't stand messy manes. But I'm going to eat you now, so it won't make any difference to you. Oh, wait a minute, said my father, and I'll give you just the things you need to make your mane all tidy and beautiful. I have them here in my pack. You do? Said the lion. Well, give them to me, and perhaps I'll save you for afternoon tea after all. And he put my father down on the ground. My father opened the pack, took out the comb and brush, and the 7 hair ribbons of different colors. Look, he said, I'll show you what you can do to your forelock, where you can watch me. First, you brush a while, then you comb, then you brush again until all the twigs and snarls are gone. Then you divide it up in 3 and braid it like this, and tie a ribbon around the end. As my father was doing this, the lion watched very carefully and began to look much happier. When my father tied on the ribbon, he was all smiles. Oh, that's wonderful, really wonderful, said the lion. Let me have the comb and brush and see if I can do it. So my father gave him the comb and brush, and the lion began busily grooming his mane. As a matter of fact, he was so busy, he didn't even know when my father left. Readers, that is the end of chapter 7. Let's take a look at our notes now, and we can check off a few more things on our list, right? So, those things that Elmer used when he got to the lion. He used, remember, the comb and a hairbrush, and he used those 7 hair ribbons of different colors as he was braiding the lion's mane. So, those are a few more things checked off our list to find out what's going to happen next. And I wonder what he might need to use in chapter 8. So take a look. And remember, if you're stuck or if you're confused, do like Mrs. Webb did and go back and reread and take some notes to help track your thinking. Thank you, readers. Enjoy the rest of the book, and we'll see you later.